Hi guys, welcome to I React with Wilson. If you are new on my channel, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I promise it'll be worth your time. Thank you. On this episode of I React, I'll be reacting to Ariana Grande, a home wrecker. When I saw the title, I was as shocked as you are now. So let's go check it out, guys. Let's see what the video is about, shall we?
So yeah, I'm
Now.
sorry, pardon my language, but men ain't. If you went to a college university, you spent some time in high school, you walked away with this lesson as a young female. And especially in the era of celebrities, that seems to be them locking hands, Hollywood, the cultural messaging. Got Taylor Swift in her girl squad, right? Oh, girls, we must stick with one another. Never mind her sloppy history with a lot of men. Obviously, it must be those guys' faults, right? Obviously, look at those men. She's perfect. She's amazing. It's because men are crap. They don't know how to deal with a woman with that much power and power. Don't ever look past the narrative that is being force-fed to us. And she's not the only one, by the way. I'm not just picking on Taylor Swift. There's Beyonce. She's had moments talking about feminism. Ariana Grande. Yeah, that's a pretty big name, and she's been in the news recently, and I'd like to talk about her. So Ariana Grande, in case you missed it, is a feminist. She is a feminist like her grandmother and her mother were before her. How feminist am I talking? Well, she wrote a song called God is a Woman. Yeah, God is a woman. That is true. We might all be in trouble. I'm going to tell you why. She also attended the infamous Women's March of 2017. Who could forget the Women's March? They had the P-word hats. There were more than 4 million ladies taking to the streets, and they breathed new life into an already very powerful movement of women taking back their voices and fighting the patriarchy. Patriarchy, it's everywhere. Men are controlling us, obviously, says the matriarchy that we actually exist under. So yeah, Ariana Grande attended that march with her mother and her grandmother, 3 generations of strong lady feminists. According to globalcitizen.org, Ariana Grande, quote, has been on the front lines of the fight against the patriarchy for years, and her contributions to feminism have largely flown under the radar. In an era of scandals and feuds, Grande has consistently preached solidarity and girl power above everything else. She's been leading the way with her big voice, whether that's standing up to blatant sexism directed at her, or supporting a fellow artist who's dealing with the fallout of a highly publicized sexual violence case. Now, that's amazing. Ariana Grande sounds absolutely like an amazing person. And you can see that even in the quotes that she gives out in public. She once said that, quote, the incredible double standards that we women face on a daily basis in the industry and just in the world, it's shocking. It is shocking, Ariana. She also said, quote, I'm going to be the lady that my mother raised and carry myself with class and dignity, but I will never be any man's press opportunity. You go, girl. She said that in regards to an ex that went on a YouTube rant against her, and he called her a cheater. And that's weird because the idea that she is a serial cheater or the idea that she gets involved in other people's relationships have been rumors that have plagued her over the year. I guess most notoriously, there was Naya Rivera. You might remember her. She was a Glee actress. She unfortunately passed, sadly, a few years ago. But before she passed, she did write a book, and she was once engaged to a rap artist named Big Sean. And toward the end of their relationship, she said that she walked into Big Sean's house when he wasn't answering her phone calls, and he found him sitting on a couch next to Ariana Grande. Now, we can't speculate as to whether or not him and Ariana Grande actually hooked up while he was engaged to Naya Rivera, but I can tell you that after her engagement fell apart, Big Sean and Ariana Grande did get together and begin a very highly publicized relationship. Well, recently, Ariana Grande has been in the press yet again for a similar scenario, and this time it is regarding a young man named Ethan Slater and his wife, Lily J. Now, who is Ethan Slater? Well, Ethan Slater, among other things, plays SpongeBob in the Broadway musical. If you'd like to go see him, he did that in the past. And he was recently cast alongside Ariana Grande in a film remake of the Wicked musical. Now, why is Ethan Slater and his wife, Lily J, making the rounds in the press? Well, Lily J and Ethan Slater, just for historical reference, were high school sweethearts, and they got married in 2018. Altogether, they have been together for 10 years, and they recently celebrated that 10-year anniversary. Very sweet. Well, Lily J also gave birth to their first child in August of last year. In fact, on Mother's Day of this year, that was on May 14th, he shared this onto social media. He wrote, "Happy first Mother's Day to the most loving, caring, and wonderful mom and person in the world. From me and this little guy." And it was a really sweet picture. All you can see is an infant's hand. So you can imagine how sweet their relationship looks. You can see in photos, they seem to love each other very much. You don't often see a relationship that lasts beyond high school, and these two look like they were having the time of their lives, at least earlier this year, that is, when he said that she was a wonderful mother. But then something happened, clearly on the set of Wicked. Now, to be clear, Ariana Grande is married, or was married. She recently filed for divorce from a man named Dalton Gomez. Prior to, she had a broken engagement with Pete Davidson. She's had many relationships that have failed, but I don't think Lily J could have possibly seen this one coming, because according to Lily J, who was speaking out in the press, Ariana Grande, while they were filming this Wicked film, would come by and hang out with her and Ethan's infant. So you can imagine as a mother, allowing a woman who you are thinking is just a person that is starring alongside your husband in a film. Her husband plays a munchkin. Ariana Grande plays Glinda, the witch, the good witch, which is quite ironic because I think she just might be a witch. And you're allowing her to hold your infant as you are postpartum, right? If she gave birth in August of last year, and she is going through what I call the next phase of pregnancy. And especially when it's your first child, I really would like to illustrate how much a woman goes through. There are so many changes. You are dealing with your body changing. You are dealing with breastfeeding. There is never a time where I believe that you need a strong partner more than after you give birth to your first child. You don't know what you're doing, right? You're having your first child, you don't know how you're supposed to feed them. If they've got gas, you're calling your parents, you're asking other mothers for advice. It is an incredibly insecure time in a mother's life. And again, as you're trying to deal with the upkeep of breastfeeding, I don't know if she did breastfeed, but as you're trying to deal with the body changes that come no matter what with breastfeeding, you then have to deal with postpartum hair loss, the insecurity of your body going from 9 months pregnant to slowly losing weight. Are you losing enough weight? Are you eating enough throughout the day to support the breastfeeding that you're doing? It is really a manic time in a woman's life, right? And of course, the adjustment to not sleeping. You have to feed an infant, every 3 hours. So that infant needs their father, but you also need that infant's father. You are relying on your partner. So you imagine Lily J is dealing with all of this, but she's still making the time to meet Ethan's co-star in this film, and she's allowing this co-star to hang out with their infant child, to hold their infant child, only to discover that for whatever reason, her husband no longer wants to be together. Earlier this year, right, he came to her and he said that he wanted a divorce.
Oh my God.
Could you imagine that? Clearly their relationship had to be on stable footing if they decided to bring a child into this world. Yet suddenly he says that she wants a divorce, and she says, according to her, in the press at least, that she was completely shell-shocked by this. What could possibly be going on? Well, 2 days before news broke worldwide, he sat her down and he told her the truth. He told her that he was in a relationship with Ariana Grande, the person that she had allowed to hold her infant child as she was going through a phase of postpartum, was actually beginning a relationship herself with the actor. So that is Ariana Grande and the timeline between their relationship. This is Ariana Grande, who believes God is a woman, who says that we need feminism. Why would Ariana Grande do this to any woman? It's so despicable, it's so disgusting, and it reeks of all of the reasons why I say that we should not follow Hollywood, we should not follow trends, and you better wake up to the fact that feminism is a lie. And the women that tend to experiment the hardest with feminism, who love the word "I'm a feminist," who love to preach to you about girl power, always have deep-seated issues. And for a lot of these women, first time I heard this about Ariana Grande, first time I heard the story, I said, she obviously has daddy issues. It's abundantly clear that Ariana Grande has daddy issues. She likes to pursue men that are in stable relationships, and she likes to rip those relationships apart, which signals to me that obviously there is something that is plaguing her from her childhood. Women, or to-be women, rather, young girls need strong father figures, or else they become a disaster in society. So yes, it turns out, I did a little prodding, that her father divorced her mother when she was just 8 years old, and then he left the family home. In her 2018 hit, Thank You Next, she sings a line that's, quote, "One day I'll walk down the aisle holding hands with my mama. I'll be thanking my dad because she grew from the drama."
Wow.
She also said once in an interview that, quote, "So much of me comes from my father, and for so long I didn't like that about myself. I had to accept that it's okay not to get along with somebody and to still love them." Now, her relationship with her father has been sporadic. She's said that they have gone periods without speaking to each other. I believe now he might be back in her life, but there is no question that she is broken from these earlier father issues. And what happens when people are hurt? They hurt other people. Now, of course, Ariana Grande is not going to stay with this man. And by the way, I want to make it clear, I'm not just attacking her. It's very clear that this man is at fault. It's obvious. Look at him. He's a dweeb, okay? This is the first time that a girl that he thinks is way above, he's boxing way above his weight class here. Oh my God, Ariana Grande, she's looking at me. And he has completely lost his mind because he's a weak man aside from being a dweeb. He's an incredibly weak man. And he allowed one girl to take a glance at him and he ruined his entire life. And not just his life, he's ruining the life of his child, his first child, as well as the life of a woman who has loved him for the last 10 years. So yeah, he is a dweeb and he is a loser. And because he is a weak man, he will of course not be able to keep Ariana Grande. Don't even think about it. These two are not going to skip off into the sunset. That's not what she does. Ariana Grande is a viper, right? The sports for her, the high for her is breaking up the relationship. She's not going to stay with him because he's already committed to divorcing his wife. So the game is over for her. She's a fake feminist. She likes feminism because feminism is a plaything for broken women, women that feel failed by men in some capacity and want to seek revenge. They are the ones that tell you that men ain't. When in reality, what we are facing today is a crisis of too many women that are acting like and Ariana Grande is among them. Wow. And that's all I have to say about that.
Wow, that's really, really sad. Boy, I just want to say my love for Candace Owens is like way up there now. I mean, listening to everything and her analysis of the whole situation is just, I think I love her. I just love her. Why would anyone just go about wrecking people's home? Why would you do that regardless of who you are, your social status, what and who you represent in the society? I mean, if you go about wrecking people's homes, breaking people's homes, breaking sweet and beautiful marriages and relationships, as far as we're concerned, you're evil. So let me state this. Right from growing up, watching Sam and Cat, that was where I first knew Ariana Grande. And then she started popping up in music and all. And then her voice was beautiful and her music as a musician, as an artist, as an entertainer. She's a lovable person. But all of this, like in reality, she's a different person. Why would you go about wrecking people's homes? For whatever reason, I don't care what the reasons are. I mean, you've tried to be in several relationships as evidenced in the just concluded video. How many relationships? You just keep going from one man to another, to the next, to the next. Of course, yeah, the song, Thank You, next, right? So Ethan is next. Let's see who's next. And like Candace rightly pointed out, I don't think they would stay together for long. I doubt they would. I doubt they will. And the sad point is, as Candice rightly analyzed, she grew up from an unstable home, and then because of all of that garbage, she's going about hurting people, hurting families, hurting relationships. And now, because of her action, This child is going to grow up without a dad, like actively present in her life or his life. And think about what the result will be in the future. In the next 20 years, this child will go about replicating the same thing. And the cycle continues. The cycle continues. They keep damaging the society, right? I feel so sad about this story, especially when you have a beautiful, beautiful story like this and you're rooting for them and you think, oh, yeah, 10 years and still counting, 10 years and still counting, all the way from high school. It's been a beautiful and a loving story all along, and then boom, Ariana happens. Gosh, that didn't even come out right. Like, Ariana happened. She happened to their relationship. How do you take a story like that, hey, I can't do this again? That woman must be broken. And to think that she actually allowed this person, like she actually welcomed this person in her home. She actually allowed this same person carry their infant child. No, no, no. If Ariana actually did that, then I am ultimately disappointed, because it means she's heartless. Yeah, yeah. It means she can like look you in the face and stab you, because all along she's been cheating with her man, and she still had the guts to, in that same stretch of time, go and be hanging out with this woman and the baby. Come on. Come on, that's the height of heartlessness. That's it. That's how I see it. If everything Candace said about Ariana is true, I am more than disappointed. More than disappointed. And she should just stop the whole feminism thing, because, I mean, what example is she giving out there? Because there are millions around the world, believe it or not, that are looking up to Ariana. People who take her as a role model, as a model figure, who look to her for lifestyle, for they learn from her. What is she teaching? What impact is she giving to the society, to the world? With stories like this making round, come on. No, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed. But again, we'll keep following the story. Let's see how it goes. Yeah? It's a wrap on this segment of I React. Thank you guys for staying till the end of this segment. Don't forget to drop your comments. I'd like to see what you thought about that video, what you thought about the whole situation. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in my next video. Peace. Bye, guys.